What are you disciplined for?
Well, as far as
Anything, just throw them out there. Well, I mean,
well,
obviously
I'm
with your
disciplined on
workout
going to
routine.
bed on time. I'm
Okay.
disciplined as far as getting my quality sleep. You
Yep.
know, Katie's got us on, tart cherry juice that you take at night. It helps you get ready for sleep. Valerian. We have a whole thing that we do every night.
Yeah.
We get in bed at the right time, unless Ella Grace is driving us crazy. And so
What time do y'all go to bed?
8.
Generally.
I'm in bed by 8:45.
Okay.
And then we're watching Netflix for a few, and then
Okay.
But I would think that's
What time do you get up?
Up by 5 a.m.
Okay.
At the
Very
gym-
similar.
at the gym at 5:45.
Okay. Well, you're one of the few guys that I will send a text to at 5 something, whenever I'm up and rocking. But our sleep schedules are very similar because same for me.
But you got to get the quality sleep and then get your workout in first before the phones start ringing. I mean, ever since I reconnected with a buddy of mine known for 30 years, and we start working out at Belterra Golds and in the morning early. And it's the greatest because my phone's not going off. I'm not looking at emails. I'm not thinking about it. I get a great workout in. I come back. I still have time with coffee and think about my day, take Ella Grace to school, and then I can go right to the office and then boom.
How many hours are you throwing in with work on a normal day? What's a normal day look like?
Truthfully, I would say I would say this is probably true for most people that are producers. If you really want to be honest with yourself, probably 2 to 3 hours a day of actual quality. You're calling a referral source, you're setting up an appointment, you're updating your current clients with files in process or whatever. The rest is just a bunch of BS.
Yeah.
Office talk or whatever. And so I'm working on trying to expand. Like, what if I did 4 hours a day, but it was 4 quality hours? And I mean, personal notes, setting up appointment, you figure out what's your strategy for those 4 hours every single day, and then you write it out and execute on it.
So are you not, so what I'm hearing you say is that you're dedicating 2 to 3 hours a day of
accumulated time.
Okay.
As far as quality work, it's probably 2 or 3. The rest is a bunch of bullshit.
Are those blocked out, or are you just catching it in waves? Okay.
No.
Yeah. And and they say, and I've done this of recent where I have what I call my marketing hours, two times a day, between 11 and 12.
Yeah.
And then again and I'm just trying to think of East Coast time and Central time, but between 10 and 11 Central and 2 to 3 Central, which ends
So I'll
up
tell you
being,
something funny.
Yeah.
Knowing I was coming up here today, I actually got on my CRM for the first time. I started inputting in, I got these realtors that are thanking me for, happy to work on this contract with you and the listing side or whatever. Now I'm entering them into the CRM. It's like knowing I was coming here motivated me to, hey, if you're going to talk about this stuff, you got to be doing it.
Yep. You got to back it up, man.
That's right.
And especially if you're going to want to build that, build that book, right? Build upon what you've already.
But what I'm really building is peace of mind.
Yeah.
And it's
peace of mind in what way?
Peace of mind where you have a predictable business that you can actually look at the amount of referral sources you have and be able to predict based on if you have consistent activity. You can get to a point where you can kind of predict the kind of volume you're going to probably do that month or the months ahead or whatever.
Yep.
And that creates a lot of stability at home in terms of, okay, I'm financially secure. I got plenty of money in the bank and I have a system in place that's going to secure a consistent level of income.
Yeah.
And of course I don't live a high lifestyle, so I don't have a huge burn rate. So
well, let's talk a little bit about that. You're about to be 50. How many years you think you have left in this crazy industry of ours if you had the choice?
Like I was saying to you, I think I want to say I've got 10 years left to make the number.
Okay.
Whatever that is, and I'm still trying to figure out what that needs to be.
If somebody put a knife to your belly and said, "Tell me the number,"
a net worth of $4 million.
$4 million. Okay. And you want to look at it and say, okay, 10 years from now, that's where I want to be.
Yeah. I base that on what is my lifestyle going to be? How many trips a year?
Yeah.
What are the things that we're doing now?
Yeah.
And what's great is when you actually get to that realization of, okay, I don't need as much money as, to do what I want. I know I want to do. Then you can scale it down to a number that seems to be less daunting.
Okay.
Before it was like, I got to have 20 million in the bank or I'm going to be miserable.
So you did have that mindset before?
Sure.
Okay.
And the reason I did is I was seeing Ed Salter making $200,000 a month back in the broker days. And even, and Melissa doing the same thing. I'm like, holy shit, I want to go do that.
Yeah.
And I realized, well, when I got into the business, that was the mindset.
Okay.
I want to make all this money.
Because that was part of the driving force.
That might work for a lot of people, but I'm not wired that way.
Okay.
I need to find significance in the work.
Okay.
And what's funny is now, after 3.5 years at First United, and really creating a stable, predictable business with great systems, I realized that I really love the work.
Okay.
I love it.
Which is to a degree, it's somewhat unique. A lot of loan officers will tell you, including myself, where I'm like, I love it and I hate it. I love it and I hate it.
It's almost like therapy to me, because you always connect you meet awesome people all the time.
Yeah.
That you can
they're thrown into your life.
Yeah, and you make this is their lives, and it really matters how you treat them and what you do during the process, because it really affects them and their family. And it's kind of a classic response as far as why we do what we do. But truly, that actually what is therapy for me. That's actually me recovering from years of being pretty dark and just hiding it.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would assume there's a lot of people out there that, that kind of go through the same kind of situation where they put on a happy face every day, but they're miserable inside. And you got to look at it as,
or maybe not fully fulfilled.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, for me, it's I was holed up, isolated all those years, especially hung up on the Adderall stuff.
Okay.
And you're connecting, you're texting people all day long, but you're not connecting with anybody.
Right. So you're more intentional with those actions. Yeah,
so the reason I'm even doing so much better in my work is because I really care about making
and
that
it
connection.
Resonates. People sense that.
It makes you better.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So if we say 10 years from now, because I believe this is to be determined, but I think it's going to be the case. Let's make the assumption that $4 million in today's money is worth $2.5 million in money, in the value of money 10 years from now. Would that change your mindset? I mean, that because you're seeing $4 million today's money, but $4 million from
as far as purchasing power or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, inflation's a perfect example.
Right. The answer is, I'll have to reassess that, and get a, quite possibly I'll have to up the number.
And I think that's that's something at least worth having on the table.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you then, and I know I'm diving into this, but I think there's a lot of value to it in that you say that, well, maybe I'll have to reassess it then. But I think that the reality is that we go, it's most likely, from inflation, from whatever, the value of money is not going to be quite the same. So do you start transitioning that mindset sooner than later, or do you wait until you get to that end game and go?
You transition it sooner.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing is you control your lifestyle and your burn rate.
Yep.
And
which you're really good at.
Our monthly housing expense, including food and everything, and going out here and there, is well under $10,000 a month.
Okay, that's your net.
Make like $6,000 to $7,000. That's mortgage, utilities, food, clothes for Ella Grace.
That's what's burning out of your checking account every month. Which is
we've added it up.
Okay,
and that's a really nice sustainable burn rate.
That is. Yeah. And I mean, I would say that's actually fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and Mama works, right? And she's got a great job.
She's got a great job.
Yep. And so what's her intention?
What we're thinking about is when Ella Grace becomes a teenager, that's really the more critical.
Is she 4 yet? She's 4.
She's 5.
She's 5. Okay.
That's the real critical years where if parents are both working and they're not around, that's where the kids really tend to go in the wrong direction.
Okay.
So we're thinking that she will probably work until Ella's 12.
Okay.
And
so 7 more years.
Bow out.
Okay.
I'm going to probably, even though I say 60, it's more just I've got to make my number by 60. I'm probably going to work till I'm 70.
Yeah. Yeah. What else you going to do? Right? Just be
I don't
in the
play
gym
golf,
all day?
Maybe I'll play a little bit with my son or whatever. No, but I mean, I think you got to have productive things to do every day. And yard work and gardening only goes so far. You can travel a ton, but you're going to get sick of that. I think you got to have sort of a routine where you're contributing to the marketplace. You're contributing to society in some way,
Yep. And so with that, you've got so many of our friends, and even I'm guilty of this to a degree. Although I've always I've always what I felt like lived below my means. Right. I've done really well in our industry, and last few years have been just insane for all of us. And you put that money into different investment streams, and then you hope that it grows, and you hope that 10 years from now you look up and it's doubled or tripled. Right.
Yeah.
But many of us get caught up in not so much competing against others, but just, wanting to see that bank account grow, right?
Sure.
How do you overcome that, right? From a balancing standpoint.
In terms of like, as far as getting upset because it's not where I want it to be?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. For example, you're like, or just choosing where it's not where you want it to be, or not getting discouraged with the fact that the people, you're outside of Sean's or David's office and you're seeing that they're crushing it.
That's envy. And I listened to a thing on Charlie Munger,
of course.
Warren Buffett's right hand. I saw it like last week, and he said the problem is not greed, it's envy in this world. And being envious of what other people have and seeing, that's a dangerous social media. You look at the stuff, and even if you're looking at it, you're kind of smiling.
Yeah.
There's a subconscious thing going on where, you're being left out and they're having more fun. Their perception is they're having more fun than you are or whatever. I think the envy part, I don't really have the envy part.
Yeah.
I'm at a place where I have a nice pile of money in the bank. I've got no debt. And that's like the biggest checkbox for me. Because
it takes a lot of stress off.
Because, being in coaching and with Buffini for years, you got to reach a place of stability. And once you reach a solid place of stability and you've got a good systems and whatever you're doing, then you can go for the next level, which is significance. And so now I'm in the pursuit of that. I know you're
in pursuit of significance. Okay. Yeah. And I might argue that, to your point, the envy part of it, that is actually probably a high percentage of those that look at it and go and they're envious. And then you have some others that use that as a driving force. Right. Of, okay, if they can do it, I can do it.
Sure.
Right. And so I think there is a fine line with that. And then that goes back to that competitive spirit.
I think you can use it as a motivating factor as long as you don't make that your identity.